Um, this will be recorded, and we will also send out the PowerPoint that I'm working off of today, just so that you are able to go back and just kind of review. And we are here as a broker support team and an education team if you have any questions about the information that I am sharing with you all today. So one sec while I share my screen. It's always my favorite part. All right, and let's go to slideshow. And there we go. So we are talking about managing our database today. And again, as I said, we thought that as an education team and broker support team to give our agents some tools to be able to get started. All right, so one of the things that is really important to understand and know when it comes to managing and organizing your database is the importance of even having a database. One of the easiest ways of generating business is just simply working your database. And I mention that because I think that in our industry, we are encouraged to look outward. We are encouraged to, and I'm not disparaging any of these things, but we're told to call expireds and door knock, farm, and all of those are really, really great tools that have obviously been successful tactics for people in our industry. But they're not the easiest things to do. And especially if you're brand new to the business, you may not have the confidence to do that. You may not have the resources to do any of those things. And so the least expensive option is to start where you are. Start with who you know right now at this moment. The typical realtor earns 13% of their business from repeat clients and 17% through referrals. And this number will obviously get larger and larger the longer that you've been in business. And I have been witness to this, and I've also experienced this myself. I personally, when I started out in real estate, I started out paying for leads, and it was a great way to get started. I also didn't know what else to do. And it cost a lot of money. There was like upfront investment that I had to place there because I didn't know any better. And if you don't have the resources to pay for leads, you can just tap into the people that you already know right now, letting them know that you're in real estate. And guess what happens? That starts to create some sort of momentum. Okay, so you start with the people that you know, and you just stay in flow with them. And we will talk about this in a bit, but you stay in flow, you stay in contact, you stay in relationship, right, with these folks. And what ends up happening is your phone starts ringing. Okay, they will start to call you. They either will have real estate questions, they will have real estate needs, they will refer people to you. Okay, and there are many, many, many of us that run our businesses almost solely on referral, and that used to be extremely intimidating to me. I could not wrap my head around that as a newer agent. Like, wait a minute. So all I have to do is just be in contact with people, be in communication with them, and my phone will just keep ringing. I really could not wrap my head around that. And I think it's just because I didn't know what to do. And there may be some of you watching right now that are in that same place. So understand that it's definitely going to take some courage and some faith, and understanding that the businesses that have the most longevity are the ones that have the word of mouth power. They are the ones that stay in contact and stay in front of the people that they know. They stay in contact and stay in front of their past clients. And that's where their repeat business comes from. Think about your doctor, your chiropractor, your hairdresser, your mechanic. People are always looking for recommendations, right? So as a realtor, you want to be the person that is top of mind. So what we're going to be talking about today is how to create a database and start from scratch, basically, so that you can start being in flow with people that know you, like you, and trust you, and then be top of mind in order to get that business. So organization of your database is key, right? I mean, it makes a lot of sense, right? If it's not organized, you can't use it, because you'll get so overwhelmed by even the thought of going into your database and looking up people or trying to figure out who you should contact and when, that, you know, a lot of us, we get overwhelmed, we get analysis paralysis, and we don't do anything, right? And so you're doing yourself and your business a disservice if you do not take the time up front to organize your database. And when I say organize, I mean, it should be simple, it should be easy, and it should be efficient. And I will put a bonus in here that it should be something that is mobile. Okay, you should be able to take it anywhere you are, you know, so if it's an app on your phone, if it's a website, you should be able to access your database at any point wherever you are, okay? Simple, easy, efficient, and honorable mention. It should be mobile. So you're like, okay, Marissa, I hear what you're saying. I'm buying into this idea of I need a database in order to really jumpstart my business and or maintain my business. But where do I start? Where do I start? What do I do? So the most intimidating thing that I hear from most agents that I hear in regards to who to contact when they've just gotten their real estate license, and even agents that have been in the business for a year or two, right? The most intimidating thing is reaching out to people that you already know. I'm not sure why. It's scary to us. I think it's fear of rejection, probably. I hear from a lot of agents that don't want to tap into the people that they already know because they don't want to come off as salesy. They don't want people to, you know, see you coming and then run away because they're like, oh my God, they're going to try and they're going to try and sell me some real estate, right? So I get that. I understand that. And I would encourage you, if you do have that fear or that anxiety around being in contact with people that you already know, I would encourage you to think about the fact that it is easier for the people that already know you, like you, and trust you to use you. You don't have to sell them on you. They already know you, right? You don't have to sell them on you, right? So when we're talking about cold calling, cold knocking, and things like that, cold means exactly what it sounds like. These people don't know you from Adam. They don't know you from anywhere. You are a cold person. You show up. Hey, who are you? Well, my name is Marissa. I'm a realtor in your neighborhood, and I would love to see how I can be of service to you. That is cold, right? People that already know you, like you, and trust you, you're starting off on a better, you're starting off on better footing, okay? You are warm, well, they are warm or hot because they already know you. You don't have to sell them on you. If you're a newer agent, you may have to show your value and show that just because I'm new, it doesn't mean that I can't help you. It doesn't mean that I can't serve you. You might have to definitely work on your value proposition, but their ears are already open and in tuned to who you are and what you have to say because they know you already, right? So rule of thumb, when you're starting out in business or you're trying to jumpstart your database or inject some new life into it, review it, look at it and see, do I have everyone in my sphere of influence in here? Do I have everyone in here? So we already talked about this. Your sphere means people who know you, like you, trust you. If you've ever heard anyone say sphere of influence or SOI, that's what they mean. It's people who know you, like you, and trust you. So once you kind of compile a list, I think that might be the easiest thing to do is get a simple Excel spreadsheet, or you can use a Word document or a notebook, but start simple. If you're starting just from the beginning, okay, and I'm saying this as someone who definitely started out with I think in the very, very beginning of my business, I invested in a CRM for like a year, like my first year, and I didn't know how to use it. It was very cumbersome to me and overwhelming, and started adding up to with the dollars. So I got rid of it after my first year because, again, I didn't know any better. And so hopefully this will be helpful to you. But start off with like a simple spreadsheet or a list or a notebook, and just write out everyone that you know. Write out everyone that you know, okay? Not their address. Don't worry about their address. Don't worry about phone number, email. Don't worry about the extra information. Just write the names down first. I think that is a good way to kind of jumpstart your brain, get those creative juices flowing. And 5-Star does have a list. So does, for those of you that take Ninja, there's a whole, I think it's like 50 or 150. These are all of the people that you probably know in your life. So like I said, your hairdresser, your chiropractor, your doctor, your mechanic, your next door neighbor who you borrow eggs from all the time, your babysitter. Just start writing out all of the people that you know and that you interact with on a frequent basis, okay? Just start there. And once you have completed that, hopefully you have at least 100 names. So rule of thumb with your database is each one of those names is probably going to be equal to 2 to 5 transactions, all right? Whether it's them or people that they're referring to you, or they use you and they use you more than one time, like that's the minimum, right? So calculate that. Like, what is your income goal? What is your income goal? And this is a Ninja tool, but you take what you want to earn, right? And let's just say gross commission income, you take what you want to earn, and then you work your way backwards from there and try and figure out, okay, based on this and what the average sales price is in my area, I need to have X amount of people in my database, okay? I need to be in flow with and be in communication with X amount of people. From what I've seen, most people, this is between 100 and 200. Like that is a sweet spot for many, many people. You don't want, too little of a number, because you'll see when we start talking about how you interact with these folks, if you don't have enough people in your database, they're going to start hearing from you a little bit too much, right? So you want to be able to spread out your communication and your touches. So 100 is a really good number. That's why I said 100 to 200. When you start getting over 200, and I'm saying this from personal experience, when you start getting over 200, it's a little bit more difficult to stay in contact continuously and in flow with 200 people at a time. And I'm sure you all can imagine that, right? So we'll talk about how to categorize people, but you want to make sure that your database is not too small, and you also want to make sure that your database is not too big. And I do understand this is a question that we get a lot is, who do I put in my database? Do I put everybody in my database? Am I putting past clients? Am I putting these leads from my website? Like how am I treating everyone that's in my database? Rule of thumb is your sphere of influence should be like your cream of the crop. Okay. And it's not to say that the person that you're getting from the website or from Zillow or realtor.com, it's not to say that those aren't solid people and solid leads, but it's going to take you a little bit more time possibly and work to develop that relationship, right? So if you have a CRM, which we'll talk about later, if you have a CRM, it's not that these people are not in your CRM. It's just, who are you putting your time and attention and energy into? So sphere of influence is where it's at. So once you compile this long list, hopefully, of at least 100 names of every single person that you know, include family members in this, please, then now we start working on, okay, let me get all of the information that I need from these folks to put into my database. So name, address, phone number, email, birthdays, anniversaries. I will also say, if this is a past client, their home, when they purchased their home or sold their home with you, their home anniversaries, who are their family members, their children, do they have an aunt or uncle living with them, parents, any information that you have, pets, the name of their pets, what their interests and hobbies are. This is how you flesh out your database. And this is all information that you will be able to use in the future. So when you're building it, you want to make sure that you're getting as much information as possible from every single person in your database, okay? So Marissa, now that I've, I wrote out a list of, at least 100 people that I know. I have collected all of their information. And actually, let me put a pin in here, a tip about collecting information. I know that it can be awkward sometimes. I know that there is some anxiety that can come behind, calling somebody up and saying, hey, would you mind sharing your mailing address with me? Or, hey, would you mind giving me your email address? Just asking them for their information. There's a couple of ways that I've seen to do this that work really, really well. I will say, first and foremost, I personally would not have anyone or include anyone in my database that, if I reached out to them to ask for information and they didn't want to give it to me, or they scoffed or were like rude about it or uneasy, they shouldn't be in your database. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Because you don't want to waste any space. Oh, I rhymed. You don't want to waste any space in your database with people who don't want to hear from you. There's no reason to. And you might be surprised about who that is, right? It could be a close friend, it could be a family member, but if you reach out to them and you ask for their information and they don't want to give it to you, that's fine. They shouldn't be in your database. Okay. But you want to make sure that you are reaching out, and just a simple ask many times goes a really long way. Another thing that I've seen people do is they send out a letter, and this is if you're new in the business. You send out a letter announcing to people that you're in the business, and I would send a note with that letter and say, hey, I'm building my database. I'd really love to be able to share real estate information with you, tips about your house, get creative, right? But that's how you ask, right? You say, I want to be able to share things with you. So it can be in a letter, it can be in a note. I saw a friend of mine do something really cool where she sent out like a Google form to people. And a Google form, if you create the link, you can send that out through social media, you can text it, you can email it and say, hey, I'm collecting information from my database because there's really cool stuff I want to share with you. Fill it out, right? Post it on your Facebook, okay? So those are just some tips and tricks to, if you need to get information and you're trying to figure out how to ask for information from people, those are some ways that you can do that. So once you get all of that information in your database with your at least 100 people, okay, how do I classify? I have all these names, I have all these addresses, blah, blah, blah. All right, Marissa, I'm overwhelmed. So what do I do now that I have people in here? Good rule of thumb, and this is straight from the Ninja book. If you don't have the Ninja book, reach out to myself, and I can definitely get a copy of that to you. It has so much valuable information in it, whether you are fully practicing Ninja or not. As a realtor, if you need advice or tips about how to run your business, creating value for your clients and value for your sphere of influence, that Ninja book is key. Okay. But per Ninja, you have 4 main groups of people that you should be placing in your database, or classifying in your database. Okay. So group A, group B, group C, group D, and I put an asterisk next to past clients. If you are brand new to the business and you don't have any past clients, obviously you're not going to have any past clients in your database. I also put an asterisk next to this because if you have been in business long enough, and if you have taken the time to cultivate relationships with your past clients, you stayed in touch with them, you've stayed top of mind, you have basically created clients for life. That's one of my favorite phrases, is you are not just my client for right now for this transaction, you are my client for life. Right? If you have taken the time to do that, you will start to see some overlap of past clients and group A. I would say group A, group B, group C, not group D. And I'll explain why later. But group A, group B, group C, your past clients may overlap with those categories, and that's okay. That's absolutely okay. You also may have past clients that you decide not to keep in your database for whatever reason. Your database is a living, moving, breathing thing. You should be reviewing it at least once a week. And by review, I mean, you should be going through your database and going, okay, I haven't talked to this person, or has this person experienced a change? Right? Has this person moved out of state? These are folks that you may want to maybe not remove from the database, but remove from one of these main groups. Okay. If you have a past client, again, that if they move out of the state, move out of the country, I was just talking to a realtor about this the other day. Like if they decide to use someone else and they don't use you, do you remove them? Or do you keep them in? So past clients in your database can be a little tricky. So use your discretion, but understand that they can overlap over time. The longer that you're doing this, they can overlap with some of these groups. Okay. So let's break it down. Group A. I love the way that Ninja phrases this. Raving fans. And I always throw in, just to be funny, but just to also get the point across, raving, foaming at the mouth, falling over themselves. They can't wait to say your name to somebody fans. Okay. Those are your A people. People that you don't even have to try to think about, like, all right, let me try and make sure I'm staying top of mind with this person or staying in flow with it. You don't even have to. You could not talk to these people ever again, and they would still be raving fans of yours and refer people to you, and also use you when they have a real estate need. Okay. So these are the people who are just, oh my gosh, if I could throw a parade and tell someone how much I love Susie, the realtor, I would, because I feel like she's amazing. Okay. These are your group A people, raving fans. The rule of thumb with your raving fans in your database is these people you are in contact with quite frequently. They're getting all your stuff. If you send out a monthly newsletter or e-newsletter, they're getting that. If you're consistently writing notes to people, they're getting at least one note a quarter from you. I feel like it might be more frequently than that, but they're getting notes from you frequently. You are having face-to-face meetings or interactions with them on a regular basis as well. You're obviously inviting them to any events that you do or plan. These are probably also the people that if you're doing something smaller, like having a dinner party at your house, these people are probably going to be there. Okay. So your group A people, you are in touch with quite frequently for the obvious reasons, right? If they're raving fans of yours, you want to make sure that you are in consistent flow, contact, communication, relationship with them. Okay. Your next group, these are your group B people. And so I just simply put fans. So they're not foaming at the mouth, falling over themselves and throwing you a parade, but they are fans. They are fans. They like you a lot. They like the work that you do or just who you are. They believe in you. They want to see your business succeed. They want to see you grow. And there's not much that you have to do to impress them or have them refer you or use you. There's not much that you have to do at all, right? So again, they love you. They're not falling over themselves, but they love you. They are still fans of yours. And the rule of thumb with these folks is the same as group A. Okay, you are in just as much communication, contact, relationship, frequency as you are with group A. Okay, these are your fans. Group A and B, I joke around, but this is kind of what helps me to remember if I'm trying to figure out, like, how should I categorize somebody if there's someone new in my database? These are the people that if you were throwing a wedding, you would want them to be there. Okay. These are people that you have really great relationship with, contact with, you're close to them. You're close to them. These are people that you might invite to your wedding. Okay. Group C people, they are tricky. They are tricky. I think that these are the folks that if you get a phone call or you see a Facebook post or something like that, or you hear through the grapevine that they use someone else for their real estate needs, these are the folks that it probably hurts the most, right? Just like, wait a minute, I know them. They know me. They like me. They trust me. Right? Why did they call somebody else? Why didn't they call me? Why didn't they call me? Because you were not in flow with them. Flow meaning constant communication and relationship. You were not in flow. So it's not that they know you any less, like you any less, trust you any less. It really doesn't even have anything to do with how they feel about you. Okay, they know you're in real estate and they think you're great, right? But if you're not in flow with these people, there's a high likelihood that they will use someone else. Okay, they will call someone else on a whim most of the time, or oh, my boyfriend's cousin's gardener just got his real estate license. We're going to go with him, right? It's like that kind of stuff happens sometimes with group C people, you know? So here's the trick with group C people. You can't assume that because they know you, like you, and trust you, that they are going to use you and that you're going to be top of mind just automatically, right? You have got to make sure that you also prioritize being in communication and relationship with group C. Okay. So I hope you all are seeing a pattern here. A through C, constant communication, touches, all the things. A through C could be most of your data. That could be 100 people. It could be, depending on, you know, how well established you are in your community. If it's somewhere that you were born and raised, you obviously would have more connections and relationships. But for some of us, A through C, that's my whole database, right? Could be, I would say could be. And they would keep you busy because, like I said, these are the people that you are in constant communication with, constant touches, A through C. So raving fans, just simple fans, and people that know you, like you, trust you, but You have to be in flow with them. Oh, shoot. I guess I didn't do group D. So I'll speak about group D, even though I don't have a slide on it. Sorry about that, guys. I'll make sure that I insert a slide for group D before we send this out to you. Group D, these are the people that they know you, but that's about it. You're not really in relationship with them. You see a perfect example of this that I hear a lot is I go to church with these folks. I see them all the time. We talk every Sunday. We've probably even had conversations about real estate, right? But that's it. That's it. They don't really know you. You have not had dinner with them. You have not sent them anything. It's just someone that that you're not yet in relationship and in flow with. Group D people have the potential to become an A, B, or C person. And that should honestly be your goal with a D person, is that you are trying to move them. They shouldn't stay at D, if that makes any sense. They shouldn't stay there. D people are the most fluid. D people should be able to move up. They should be moving up to A, B, or C, or they're moving off. They're moving off your database. Okay, so if you attempt to reach out, if you attempt to get in flow and communication with them and, they don't seem to be going for it, they're not interested, then these are the people that you will remove. So you're either moving them up to an A, B, or C classification group, or you're moving them off. Okay, with D people, you are not in as frequent communication with them as you would be with A, B, or C. You're in you're talking to them a good amount. Like you're still going to send them notes. They'll probably be getting your monthly newsletter. If you send out like a monthly postcard, they would get it. Or if you want to do a just sold or just listed postcard, they would probably get that. If you want to do like an event and you want this event to be a large event, you would probably include people in D. They might be on property updates, but again, group D, they're not hearing from you or seeing you in as frequently as A, B, and C are, right? You want to get there. You have to get to know them and work on that. But when they first start out and you're putting them in your database, these are not people that you know very well. Okay. So how are we, once we classify everyone A, B, C, or D in our database, okay? Once we classify them, now what, Marissa? What do I do now? Like, how am I in communication? What do I do with this information? I have everyone in here. I have their contact info. I have their addresses. I know, their birthdays and their pets, and I know all this stuff, right? Now what? So these are just some examples of things that you can do to stay in touch, stay top of mind, stay in flow now with these A through D people. So sending out a newsletter that can either be printed or emailed. Honestly, the most cost-effective thing is to email it. Okay. Pop buys. So this has become a really popular thing in our industry where you choose a select group of people that you want to, drop off a gift or drop off something cute or a lottery ticket or a plant because it's spring, whatever, right? These are ways to, drop by, love on people. And then a bonus is if they're home, you can talk to them. Or if they're not home and you drop off the pop by gift, okay, then you can send them a text and be like, hey, just FYI, I just left something on your porch. I hope you enjoy. That's it. Go on about your business. People love to be loved on. People love to feel thought about in a in a society right now with a culture where a lot is you're in your phones, you're in your computer, the days of conversation and just personal touches and interactions with people, it's slowly fading away, right? So when you do something like this, it really, really has a great impact on folks. Like, gosh, she thought enough of me to come by my house and drop off a pie. It means a lot to people, right? A good rule of thumb with pop buys, especially when it comes to trying to organize how to do them. So I'm in no way saying you need to do 100 pop buys or 200, whatever, every single time, but do it, maybe split it up quarterly. So split your database up, equally in 4 parts. And maybe you do 25 first quarter, 25 second quarter, 25 third quarter, 25 fourth quarter, right? You do pop buys. And you can at least guarantee that everyone in your database has been touched by a pop buy in the year, okay? Notes. If you know me at all, if you've heard me talk, if you've been a part of any of my trainings or one-on-one coachings, you know that I am an just strong advocate. You want to talk about a raving fan? I'm a raving fan of notes, okay? It's inexpensive. It's easy. It's personal. People feel really, really special when you write them a handwritten note. We talked about this in our Ninja Mastermind a week or so ago, but you can go on to notecardcafe.com, Vistaprint. There's a lot of websites that sell note cards in bulk, right? And they're blank, right? So you can, write whatever you want in them, and use a blue pen. A blue pen is more personal than if you write in black. I know that is like a really weird tidbit, but it works, okay? If you feel like you don't have great handwriting, that's okay. It's okay. Somebody could be reading your note and not understand a few words because it looks like chicken scratch. Guess what? They're still going to feel special and they're still going to feel thought of because you took the time to sit down, spent the postage, and you sent them a note. Okay. So again, like I said, I am a huge fan of notes. Okay. Email, right? You can be in contact with your database through email. You can send them home tips, real estate updates of their area or their neighborhood. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of content. If you just do a simple Google search, just asking things that you can email your clients as a realtor, I'm telling you, there's going to be a ton of stuff that pops up, YouTube videos, all the things. Okay. And you can also use your broker support staff and your education staff as a resource to ask questions, get ideas from. It's fun for us to be able to idea share with you. So we're here, use us. A phone call, obviously, right? You can call your folks, you can text your folks. Social media, this is a newer one in the past several years, but it's powerful. It's powerful. If you are on social media, it is a really, really great way to connect with people that does not feel overbearing and salesy, but you can still count it as a touch. You can still count it as a touch. The key with social media is that you want to make sure that it is personal. So for example, let's say you see a post from someone that's in your database and you comment on the post along with 50 other people. That's fine, right? That's fine. They'll see it. They'll probably like your comment, but take it a step further. Take it a step further. Inbox them. Send them an inbox. You can comment on the post and then inbox them. Hey, oh my gosh, that was such a cool picture that you just posted of you fly fishing. That just sounds like so much fun. Then they're responding. Now you're interacting with this person one-on-one, outside of the bounds of, you know, a Facebook post where a ton of other people also are interacting with them. So it's just a little thing. It's just a little tweak to make, but it can go so far. Okay. Like I said earlier, if you're doing events, you can invite people in your database to events. And a coffee, a lunch, or a dinner, or what we call a face-to-face, one-on-one. Okay. The people who are A through D in your database should be seeing you. You should be having face-to-face interactions. And I understand that we all have very different personalities. I get it, right? There are some of us that are more extroverted and some of us that are introverted. Absolutely. But we are in a business where you have to deal with people. You have to be in relationship with people, no matter what your personality type is, right? So I understand that for some of us, the face-to-face, even the emails and the calls, right? I understand that there will be some of us where that will be a little bit more challenging. I get it. I really, really do. It comes easily to me because of my personality, but what does not come easily to me is spreadsheets. No, thank you. No, thank you. So again, we all have different gifts and strengths. Okay. So I would encourage you, if you are an introvert and the thought of, you know, having one-on-ones with people or making phone calls, if you have some anxiety around that, talk to us about it. Talk to us. We can help coach you through it, but know that because of the industry that you're in, it's a contact sport. It's a contact sport. How are you going to be top of mind for people to use you if you're not talking to them? And if you're not seeing them on a regular basis? They are going to call Uncle Joe's cousin's gardener. That's who they're going to call. They're not going to call you. So you have to get in front of folks in a real and personal and authentic way. And I would like to say, for a lot of these, it's not about the sale. It's not, you're not doing these things with the mindset of, oh my gosh, I hope this leads to business. I hope, oh my gosh, I took that person to lunch 2 weeks ago and they haven't called me yet with a referral. Like, no, okay. You are doing it, A, to provide value, B, to establish and maintain the relationship. Okay. We're not going to be attached to the outcome, and the outcome in this scenario is the transaction. We're not going to be attached to that. What we're going to be focused on and the energy that we're going to put into this is I want to provide value. I want to love on folks, right? I care about my community. I care about my sphere. I care about these people. So that's all that you're doing. That's all that you're doing is caring for people and loving on people. And I know that for some of us, this may seem like really far-fetched. Like, I don't understand, Marissa, how newsletters and pop-bys and notes and email calls and social media and event invites and coffees and lunches. I have no clue. I can't see how that's going to lead to business. And this is where the faith step comes into play. This is where you have to have faith, not be attached to the outcome, not be attached to the sale, and just be focused on providing value, because providing value is not just about, I sent you a CMA. I sent you this. I sent you this real estate statistic. That's not only what value is. Value also could just be your presence. It could just be your presence. There is something that you have to offer in you that someone else needs, right? So if we're approaching our database and the people in our database and our ABCD people, if we're approaching them with that energy and that intent, I promise you, you're not going to have to be worried about your business and your phone ringing. Okay. So you have created this database, you have categorized everyone, right? And now you see what you can do to be in contact and flow, connection, and communication with these folks. Here's where the database is really, really going to help you. Okay. Document, document, document. It's not enough. It's wonderful when you're in connection with people. It's wonderful, right? You could be knocking it out of the park. I've had this many coffees and lunches this week. I've sent out this many notes. My e-newsletter went out last week, blah, 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 blah. That's all awesome, right? However, we're talking about at least the goal is 100 people. So you have to document and track what you're doing and when and who it was. You have to, right? Because I don't want to write a note to someone that I sent a note to last week and I'm writing them a note again this week because I forgot, right? Don't do that. Don't send someone 2 happy birthday notes. I'm saying this from experience, done it, been there, done that. Don't do that, right? So document. Just write the person's name down. If you're not using a CRM, and we'll get to this in a second, if you're not using a CRM or a formal database or something like that, even in an Excel spreadsheet, right? You can create a column that's just notes. You can create a column that is last contact, right? Make sure that you are tracking and you are documenting who you're talking to, when you're talking to them or you're in connection with them, and what it was. What was it? Okay. I just said about Popeyes, if you segment them or organize them where you're doing Popeyes once a quarter, right? You have to be able to know, you have to be able to know who you talked to in the first quarter or who you sent something to or did a Popeye for in the first quarter versus the second, because again, you don't want to do it again. Okay. So document, track. So what are some database tools? You could start simply, like I said earlier, with a notebook or an Excel spreadsheet. And by no means am I knocking doing it that way. As someone who for about 6 or 7 years, was just using an Excel spreadsheet, and I was able to grow my business from that. It's fine. It's fine. I will let you know, though, that you will get to a point in your business, either with the number of past clients that you have combined with your sphere growing because you're doing the things, right? Your database can grow and grow and grow. And it's hard to manage 500 people on an Excel spreadsheet. It's difficult to, right? But I'm hoping that you get to a point in your business where financially, your database has grown, your business has grown, and you can now invest in a database tool. And I use the word invest because that's what it is. Okay. We are running businesses, friends. We are running businesses. And it is crucial to the success of our business and to the growth of our business to treat it as such. Meaning, when you get to a certain point of success, you've got to take that money and put it back in. You got to take that money and put it back in. And I'm all for, being fiscally responsible, but I don't think that there's anyone that would tell you that it's a bad idea to invest in a CRM. Okay. So there are, I feel like, dozens and dozens and dozens of options when it comes to managing your database or your contacts. There's a lot. I will encourage you to do your research. And the reason why I'm saying that is one size does not fit all. One database does not fit every realtor. It does not fit you. It doesn't fit your personality. It doesn't fit the structure, how you structured your business. One size does not fit all. So you have to be very clear about who you are, how you want your business to run, and then do research on all of the different tools, and then decide which one best fits you. It's a very similar process to when you were trying to figure out which brokerage to go to, right? Very similar process. Do your research so that you can make sure that you're not wasting money on something that doesn't motivate you. It doesn't do what the system doesn't do what you want it to do. It's not easy to use, it's cumbersome, or it doesn't have enough features, right? So I just went through this process about 9 months ago. It took me a while. It took me a couple of months. I was taking notes. I was watching, numerous YouTube videos and reviews. Just do your due diligence so you can make sure that you are choosing the right database for you, because if it's not the right one, you're not going to use it. You're not going to use it. And therefore, where is our business if we're not using our database? Because remember, like I said, your database is the central nervous system of your business. It is the thing that can make or break your business. Okay. So these are just some recommendations. Okay. Brivity, KV Core, Follow Up Boss, Top Producer, Wise Agent, Boomtown, Trello. There are a lot of different tools. So just do your research and figure out which one will work best for you and how you want your business to run. And again, the best system is the one that you use. The best system is the one that you will continue to go back to. There's no right or wrong answer for this. Okay. KV Core could be a wonderful platform for some agents and not for others, right? Boomtown, same thing. Follow Up Boss, same thing. So you want to make sure that you have a CRM that you can use, and the way to use it in an intelligent and intuitive way is, we just talked about how to organize your database with A, B, C, and D people. Okay. So they at least need to have the ability for you to be able to categorize within the system. Okay, categorize within the system. A lot of really great CRMs will allow you to communicate to your database through the system. A really great system will allow you to take notes and track how you've been in contact with your database. So these are all things that are very, very important in the success of you being able to stay top of mind for the people that you know. So that is all that I have for you all today in regards to building a database, managing a database. There's definitely a lot more that we can probably talk about and uncover with this. And, if you guys want a part 2, let me know. If you want to do a one-on-one and chat about it, let me know. And I hope this was helpful for you today. And just remember that you have to do this in sections. You have to do it in pieces, because it can get extremely overwhelming, right? So take it in steps. If you're building a database from scratch, if you are, shooting new energy and injecting new energy in your database, and you just watched this live stream today and you're like, whoo, I need to start over. That's fine, but do it in the steps. Okay. Make sure you're writing a list and you have everyone down on there that you know, and make sure you're categorizing them based on what we talked about, and that you have all of the information for these people. And then from there, you're going to go, okay, how am I staying in contact with these folks? How are they hearing from me? Okay. So again, I hope this was helpful. Really quick plug and shout out to 5-Star. For just so you all know, you have a free CRM through 5-Star and through our 5-Star Michigan website. So if you're thinking, Marissa, I don't have the money right now to invest in one of those systems that you were just talking about, that's okay. Guess what? Our brokerage is awesome. So you have a free system that you can use in the meantime. Okay. So again, if you have any questions, if you want to talk about this further, reach out to me or pop your questions in the chat. And I would love to help you out and give you some more tips if you need it. All right. Thanks, everyone. I hope this was helpful, and happy selling.